Hello, ladies and gentlemen out there in the internet. How are you? Welcome to the PlanetSide 2 webcast. Today we're going to be talking about Empire-specific weapons. My name is Matt Higby. I'm the creative director on PlanetSide 2. And with me today is...
Josh Sanchez. I'm a combat lead on PlanetSide 2.
Also known as Manchez.
Sanchez.
That's what I call him. I call him Manchez.
And
I'm the senior art director, Tramell Isaac, also known as T-Ray.
Yeah.
Also known as the big unit.
Also known as the perpetual webcast hanger-on.
Oh, man, come on, please. Again, I carry this show.
So we have a huge number of questions, all relating to Empire-specific weapons in PlanetSide 2 that we've gathered from various community sites, from Facebook, from our Twitter, etc. And we're going to get right into them because there's a lot of them here, lots of questions. First, I think it would be good to talk just kind of broadly about what sort of weapons each of the empires have access to, what their themes are, what their strengths and weaknesses are. If you could kind of talk about that a little bit.
All right, so starting with the NC have more precision, hard-hitting rifles, sniper rifles. Per bullet, they're doing more damage in comparison to the other empires. But they can put out just a lot of bullets into the air. And then the VS is energy weapons, less bullet drop, slightly less degrading, damage degrading over time, sorry. And then there's just a lot of cool sci-fi weapons.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And from an art style standpoint, what kind of vision is there for what the different empires are up to?
Well, we pretty much took what we had from the original PlanetSide set of weapons and kind of expanded upon that. So later in the show, we'll probably be talking about the number of customizations and different parts that we can make for these weapons. But for the TR, you still got the same kind of smooth shapes to go along with the definition of the term. So it's like, okay, if you have the cycler, you still got the big giant clip on it, and it's still got the double barrel that kind of rotates in and out. For the VS, we still got the same kind of scallop shapes and the carapace shapes on the top. And we've seen some of the concepts that we put out there. It's still, we've changed the form of it a lot, but we've kept the function the same with the energy weapon point of view. With the NC, we went a little bit harder on it. The NC weapons from the original PlanetSide were a slight combination of some curved edges and some hard edges, like the scatter pistol was a good example of that. But this time we went straight true to the definition of the faction with nice 45-degree angles and 90-degree angles on all the corners, and flavored them with a little bit of blue and yellow on there. So it'll be pretty cool. I think a lot of the screenshots that we've put out already, people have gotten some nice feedback, and I think they're liking it.
The chat must be hilarious right now because the community people over here are just busting up. Somebody's saying something like really mean about one of us, or...
Go ahead and say it.
What'd someone say? We can't continue until we find out what this is.
Let's break this up.
Yeah.
What is this?
Higby always looks like he's in love when T-Ray talks.
I am.
Oh, he is.
I am. We actually have a deep affection for one another.
It's kind of creepy.
Yeah.
It is. It really is.
Yeah.
You should see us when we get off camera. It's not something to be on camera. So
it's true.
It's really, yeah. Anyway. Next.
Yeah. So we got these questions here. I think these are actually, there's a huge number of them, and these are really good. So we'll try to get through as many of them as we can. The first one on here was, can you describe in detail what an NC player might be able to modify his or her weapon loadout to match the same style of gameplay as a TR might obtain through a normal loadout?
All right, so we're going to have an attachment system in place. Adjustments to your gun to suit your playstyle as you, well, we have a cert system, so what we want is like players to, as they cert in their weapon, it's them getting better with that weapon, so they can adjust that and tune that weapon for their individual playstyle. So they can make it so, you know, just slight adjustments to put out more ammo, maybe slightly less recoil, kind of just leaning it more towards, say, I don't want to say TR because it can't go all the way,
right?
But it's leaning towards that way.
So you're also saying that, like, as we were talking about passive stuff, like we're talking like attachments like flashlights,
Yeah, we also have visual attachments. Those are separate. So we have visual attachments. They can throw, like you mentioned, flashlights, red dot sights.
Yeah, forward grips.
Laser, forward grips. They can, all these 3 types of attachments, or 2 types, 3 attachments, can combine to just really make a unique weapon.
Right.
And players can tailor that just however they want to play.
So they're probably never going to be able to get to the point where they have as fast of a fire rate as a TR could get, or as little kick as a TR could get, but they can kind of blur the edges a little bit.
Exactly. It's, I think how we discussed it, it's a Venn diagram, and you can start going towards the TR direction, but you can't step all the way into the TR.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Cool. What else do we have here? Do certain weapons types do different types of damage? I.e., is a sniper rifle more damaging to a tank's tread than an assault rifle due to caliber, that kind of thing? Yeah,
we do have a concept of caliber. We have, large caliber bullets, small caliber, and then we have resist to offset that. So in that example, a tank would actually block a sniper rifle's bullet, but say a max will take slightly less damage in comparison to, say, a pistol. So that concept is in the game, and we will be balancing around that.
Cool. Cool. And then we've got how many hard points on primary weapons? I think you kind of went over this.
Yeah.
Does it differ based on the weapon type? Do assault rifles, carbines, shotguns, etc., all have the same number of attachments that they can use?
So 2 hard points, 2 visual attachments, and it does differ per weapon. The majority are going to have 2, and a lot of the options are the same. So for example, a carbine, you can stick a scope on it, you can stick a red dot on it. An assault rifle, you can do the same thing. We have other guns like shotguns where, put in a scope on that does not make sense.
Right.
So we are...
That was actually part of this question, actually.
Yeah.
Will there be upgrades and side grades that allow for more of those, and things like having shotguns with scopes, etc.?
Yeah, you could put those on there. It just wouldn't change the change the spread of the shotgun. So it's like, why would you do that?
Yeah. So we're
giving the slot. That's pretty.
Giving the player a lot of options, and they can choose to combine them and
in as effective or ineffective ways as they can.
Exactly.
And we've got silencers for shotguns too. So
silencers for shotguns.
Hey, if you want to go that route, go that route.
Just in case the dude who you're 2 feet behind, when you're about to blast, you don't want him to hear you.
You don't want him to hear it.
Be like that one movie.
Sneak up on him.
Man, what's it called? The Coen's brother movie where he has that big silencer on the shotgun.
Yeah, it's like a giant, like a muffler on the front.
Yeah. All right. 236. That's you.
That's me.
For those of you who don't know, Joshua here is 236 on Twitter. That's with letters, not numbers. Said that while VS engineers don't get the assault version of the Pulsar, they do get a carbine version. What are the differences between these 2 variations of the Pulsar, and presumably equivalents for TR and NC engineers?
All right. So the carbine is a range-limited variant of an assault rifle. Its effective range is going to be about 10 meters less than an assault rifle. So as a class, they're going to roughly up close where they're both line up, they're going to be roughly the same. Past certain range, the assault rifle is going to have an advantage. And it works out because on the engineer, they get a deployable turret. So he has a close range, he wants to use his carbine. At long range, he wants to use his turret. So the 2 combine.
And that's a player controllable turret.
Yeah,
it's not a
player controllable turret.
Now, are there going to be different kinds of turrets? Like, can I set up like a flame-throwing turret or a turret that shoots out shotgun shells or something like that?
So the plan is to eventually have a bunch of different types of turrets. We want to have an anti-armor one, anti-infantry one. Just basically, if there's a role in the game for it, we want a turret for it.
And can I customize my turret?
Turrets you cannot customize. It's your
for now.
Yeah.
Oh,
as soon as we get some artists that'll give us some customizable turrets, we'll throw that in there.
What? Come on, man. That's on Elam, dude. I'm putting that on Elam.
Is it?
Yeah, Ryan Elam, tech director.
Yeah.
Pick up your game, boy.
Well, he ain't here, so.
Yeah, I know. That's why I blamed it on him.
Yeah, I know. And I can think we can blame almost everything on him if he's not here.
There you go.
It's his fault. Between him and Hackney, it's basically one of their faults.
Exactly. Hackney, what's up?
All right. Will there be night vision scopes?
Yes. There we go.
Easy.
There will be night vision.
Done.
Don't expound on it. Just say yes.
Yes.
There.
So we have night vision, and then we also are going to put in implants that can block night vision.
Implants that can block night vision?
Yes.
How's that possible?
So what is that going to do?
What does it do?
It creates a
darkness
counter perk system. Yeah, it's a darkness. It's I don't know, reduces your blood temperature.
Is it a night vision or a thermal vision?
It's a thermal vision.
Okay, so that's 2 different things. People want to know that.
So you can get a thermal So you'll be able to use, we're allowing the night vision scope on tanks?
Allowing
or
the night vision.
blocking on tanks?
Not allowing the night vision blocking.
Thermal blocking.
Thermal, but
Thermal
we are
blocking.
allowing the thermal scope.
All right, sounds good to me.
Sweet.
That sounds good.
I want that.
I think night vision's fantastic.
I wish I could have a thermal blocking thing on my car.
We need to get
It'd be
some,
pretty sweet.
if you guys haven't seen it in the,
some ice on it.
in
Yeah,
the
just-
PlanetSide, or not in PlanetSide, then everything's PlanetSide to me. In the PC Gamer for April, we actually have some screenshots in that article, great article, showing a day-night cycle.
Yeah,
It's like 5
pretty sweet.
screenshots showing a scene in
Yeah.
different times a day. So we haven't really released too much of showing what the day-night cycle on PlanetSide looks like yet. We've released screenshots at nighttime and daytime and all
Yeah.
that stuff. But that's a really cool idea of being able to look at this and see like, oh, neat, this battlefield's evolving throughout time, and night is an important component of that. So the night-based
Yeah.
implants, the night-based attachments are all really factored into that gameplay.
Yeah, go pick up that copy of PC Gamer. Sweet little
It's got a
article.
beta key in it too, so you'll be able to
Exactly.
input
Sign
that
up
key,
for beta, everybody.
get yourself into the priority list for beta. All right, will there be significant limitations to ammo and weapons? Will it be common for a spray and prayer to run out of bullets quickly, or is it Quake style where you're basically never worried about bullets?
So we have different types of weapons. So for example, a spray and pray assault rifle is going to be ammo limited. It's once, 40 rounds, 30 rounds, whatever faction you're on, you're going to run out of ammo, and that's the limitation there. Then we're going to have different types, like for example, the chain gun, which it does have ammo, but it's a much larger pool, and that's the benefit of that weapon. It's a sustained fire weapon. It's just, you can fire that for longer before you have to care about ammo.
Right. That's not the chain gun.
But can I get an upgrade that allows me to have like a longer clip, an extended
There's a
clip
chain
or
gun.
something like that?
We do want to put those in, yes. We're gonna,
Sweet.
and then some just innately are gonna have more ammo. So for example, the heavy assault rifle that they showed, sorry, not heavy assault rifle, the heavy cycler that they showed on the about a week ago, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
That's just by default gonna have 100 rounds in it.
Gotcha.
So
Nice.
it's gonna be just,
that's
not-
basically a heavy suppression weapon. It's
Yeah,
just lay down cover fire.
it's basically an LMG style weapon.
Yeah.
And it's just, ammo is not a limiting factor as in the shorter periods. You're gonna hit that one period where you have to reload. And it's gonna take a little longer, but before that, you can just lay down a lot of ammo.
Do you have that same habit I have where you fire like 3 bullets and you immediately reload? So if you're using an LMG and you're just
I'm really bad at that. I tend to use like the strong weapon with very little ammo, just so I don't.
so you don't spend
Yeah,
a half an hour
yeah.
reloading every time you're trying to play? All right, I'm going to skip this next one and get to this one after the last one on here. Is weapon balance designed with the idea of each weapon type being defeatable by any other to encourage individual reward, or is it some rock, paper, scissors style, with one type most typically winning out over another to encourage organized tactical play? It's kind of a complex question.
Yeah, it's a mix of both. So the counter system is more on the class level, where, for example, you have a sniper, and then a light assault get close to him, and sniper rifle is not going to do much good up close. And then
Unless you get like, super lucky.
unless you get good shot off and he's already injured, but on the class level, within the class, we're also allowing them to switch their weapons around.
Right.
So, for example, you can have an assault rifle, you can have a shotgun, you can
That's a
have...
good question. How many weapons do you expect a class to have in general?
How many types of weapons?
Yeah, well, how many just weapons will they have access to? I think something that people have asked a lot about is what sort of range of customization am I going to have within a class?
Well, we want you to have, a lot. So I'll use the light assault as an example. You can use assault rifles, you can use shotguns, you can use, you can use SMGs. Those are your primary weapons. And then on your secondary weapon slot, which is your pistol slot or your sidearm slot, you're going to have heavy pistols, automatic pistols, and then just basic all-around pistols. So you can mix and match 3 primary types, and within each type there's multiple choices. So we're going to have multiple shotguns, multiple assault rifles, and that's going to carry across all the different weapon types. So you can pick a type of weapon, your own preference within that type, and then you can put attachments on that to make it even more customized for your class, and then you can do the same with your sidearm. So there's a lot of choices for
There's a huge amount of variability
Yes.
within
So
each
you
class.
can have like an assault rifle with the grenade launcher attachment on it.
Yes.
And you can also have, basically, for each faction, you've got the same kind of choice.
Yeah.
So you have the ability to go to the NC side and get an assault rifle, put a scope on it and a grenade launcher on it, and then you can go play TR and do basically the same thing with either the carbine or the SMG.
Yes, they can like take their assault rifle, like you said, put a grenade launcher on it, take that same assault rifle, put a forward grip and a scope on it, and maybe they have an assault rifle that's slightly better at long range. TR can have that same choice as VS has that choice, or they can choose if they want to be more running around, they can have a SMG, or if they want to just be up close, a shotgun. Excuse me.
Sweet.
And then they can just mix and match attachments and sidearms, and we're just giving them a lot of choices.
Nice.
So this other question that was on here, this is pretty subjective. What is your favorite gun so far and why?
My favorite gun?
Yeah, which one do you like the most right now?
Right now, I like the Gauss rifle.
Oh, I was going to say the Gauss rifle.
Yeah, Gauss rifle is pretty good. It's
I can't stand that weapon, dude.
come on.
Garbage.
It's kind of weird because
NC is just
TR is my favorite faction, but I like the Gauss rifle a lot.
Yeah.
And the reason I like it because
hold up, you designed the
Yeah,
play
I
of it,
know,
and you're
but-
TR. You just sold your whole empire out, dude. That's pretty lame.
So it's like I mentioned earlier. I'm really bad with the reloading.
Mm-hmm.
So running around as a TR, and I got 40 rounds in my clip, and then I fire 3 and I hit reload, and it really does me no good having those extra bullets.
Oh man.
Yeah.
We should probably talk to the designer of
Yeah,
those weapons.
What about you? What's your favorite weapon right now from the art director point of view? What are you loving that we've got?
Visually?
Visually and gameplay wise.
Well, gameplay wise, I would probably have to pick the Lasher. I mean, obviously it's a holdover from the original PlanetSide.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, you can't beat it. It's a heavy weapon. One of the things that people don't know is it's not a rifle anymore. It's actually a low-held weapon, more like a chain gun, but it's basically the functionality of the Lasher, and it's held like a low-held weapon.
Something like that, yeah, pretty similar.
Visually, I still want to change. I want to work with that a little bit because I'm not really too happy with the way it came out. But as far as like anything else, I think the current pulsar that we have with the different types of attachments that we have, because we also have, like you said, passive attachments, but we can also do different combinations of those rifles. So if I wanted to, I could buy a different stock for my pulsar to make it look different.
Yes. Yeah.
I can also buy a different hand grip that'll make it look different, and the same thing with upgrade to a different iron sight as well as a different scope to put on that. So my pulsar will look completely different than somebody else's. So I think that's what I like about the system that we currently have.
Right.
Is that you can customize your weapon to make it look the way you want it to look.
Yeah, that's definitely really cool.
Yeah.
Just that functionality I think people are going to be really into. That actually brings up another question that I saw that I don't know if is on this list or not, but I was getting tweeted at by one of the super irritating VS tweeter people.
We need answers.
This dude, you know that.
Oh, Fabian Cast?
No, not that guy.
That cat, you going down, kid.
Huh?
Baya in your face.
No, I'm talking about
You
Basti,
challenged me to
your
a
boy
game of ball.
Basti.
Oh, Basti?
Yeah.
Dude, you got to calm down.
All right, so this dude was asking what the difference is between the Pulsar that we just released, that just got put on
the original,
and the one that we had released assets from earlier.
So, well, basically what happens is, like, as you heard me talking about the current Lasher, at certain points in times, as we develop the game and as the needs of design actually changes, we make...
Don't pin this on us, man.
No, we make additions and we make changes to the way that things look. And if I'm not satisfied with the way it looks, we have to revise it. So the image that you guys saw was an earlier image that we took.
Yeah.
And it's changed since then. So the latest concepts that you've seen and the latest images that we just released, what was that, this week?
Just now, I think. It was either earlier today or yesterday. I think it was this morning that we released
Yeah,
the
so those are
Pulsar.
probably the most up-to-date. Who knows? We might actually bring those back as something that you can buy through Station Cash or something like that. But
And we still have them. We're just...
yeah, we still have them. They're not going anywhere. But I thought that the one that we currently have looks a lot better than the one that we had in that image. So
A lot of people ask the same thing about the TR rifles because we had a lot
Yeah,
of
yeah.
The cycler rifles in there, and people are saying, what's this gun?
yeah, it's the same situation. We still have those things, and we can release those if people want to buy a one-off or something like that,
Yeah.
and swap out one of their current guns with that. But I think it was more of an evolution of the process, just trying to go through it to give design what they need and give the people the options that they need as far as like customizing and making cosmetic changes to the weapon, so we had to make some alterations to it.
Yep. Yep. All right, I got 2 whole more pages of questions here. So, what variants can each class use? Can a medic use an SMG, a sweeper, etc.?
Yeah.
Broadly, I mean.
We kind of went over that, but yeah, a medic can have a, carbine, shotgun, the NC, one of those is a sweeper, and then they can have SMGs, and then they have 3 different types of sidearms that they choose. Yeah.
All right. What are some of the non-weapon attachments that can be put on the Pulsar? For instance, a dark light reflex sight. I think we kind of talked about that. A target designator. What are just some more examples of weapon attachments for that kind of gun?
They have red dot sights, scopes.
And there's several of those.
There's several each.
Yeah.
So you can have a 4x scope, a slight, 3.4x scope blocks a little less of your view. You can have a heat vision scope. You can have multiple red dots, different styles, the little center dot. Mm-hmm. You can have
forward laser scope.
Yeah, it's a laser scope.
Yeah, it's a laser scope.
7x scope. And when you're talking about VANU stuff, because that's, I think the question was
specifically for the Pulsar, yeah.
Yeah.
When we're talking in general terms, so we say 4x scope, it's not actual like a physical like scope that you see like on like any other FPS. Like the VANU stuff looks completely different. So
yeah.
It's a scope, but it won't look like your traditional scope.
It's not going to look like a big circle.
Yeah,
it's
not going to
cylindrical
be a big
tube with a
glass
magnifying glass on the side of it.
It'll be something totally different.
Each faction is going to have the access to scopes, access to forward grips, but how exactly they look and function is going to be slightly different.
What about something like a silencer?
We do have silencers.
Flash suppressors, all that kind of stuff?
Flash suppressors are going in. We have multiple silencers actually per faction. And then what else we got? Red dots,
The underslung grenade launcher we talked about.
Underslung grenade launchers, smoke grenades, shotguns.
So there's just a huge amount of stuff.
Yeah.
That's a big pile of stuff.
There's a lot of options.
This is a repeat of the hardpoint question. All right, in PlanetSide 1, engaging a Max with anti-infantry weapons was basically useless, since a Max was basically a walking vehicle. Since things like time to kill have changed in PlanetSide 2, will Maxes be in danger from infantry weapons, or will we still need to use combat engineering and anti-armor weapons to take them down, like PlanetSide 1?
All right, so Maxes will take damage from anti-infantry weapons, but they will resist some damage. So it will take a lot of anti-infantry weapons. What we're trying to avoid in the game is, just that feeling that you feel useless. So you can do some damage to him, but you're not going to one-on-one be able to take him down.
Yeah.
But he is going to take the full anti-armor damage, so a rocket hitting him is really going to hurt a Max.
Yeah.
What about grenades and mines and stuff like that?
Yeah, all that, he can step on them, take some damage. It's similar to the light. We're going to actually be probably tuning his resist on an individual basis. Like, he'll block bullets more than he'll block grenades, more than he'll block mines and stuff like that.
Gotcha. What kind of tools will medics be getting? How will they be healing others? Like, what's the medic healing kind of mechanic? It's sort of a class question. It's not a weapon question.
Yeah.
Let's get on here. Who put this list together?
I don't know.
All right, so the medic has a healing tool, the medical tool, and then he also has... all right. And then he also has abilities. So he can throw down, an AoE heal. We're playing around with an AoE revive. I think that one will be pretty cool.
That's a grenade or something, right?
Yeah, and then he's also going to have grenades that are medic-specific.
Do you want to talk about grenades?
What is an AoE? What does that mean?
Okay.
For those who are listening. Oh, okay.
Okay, so he can heal one person, and every once in a while he'll have a recharge time on it. He'll be able to heal everyone around him.
Okay, so it's basically it's a radius around the medic. All right, cool. That sounds like pretty nifty little skill.
So grenades, what's the scoop? What's the deal?
We
haven't talked about grenades.
We haven't talked about grenades.
We have grenades, right?
Yes, we have grenades. We have frag grenades, which any class can use, and then we have various class grenades. For example, the medic ones we mentioned is a healing grenade and a revive grenade. And every class is going to have access to at least 2.
Yeah. Any other cool examples?
Cool example.
Putting you on the spot, huh?
All right, we have jammer
Josh doesn't want to talk about the grenades until they're locked down.
Yeah.
Like he's really worried about talking about stuff that's not 100% final and finished. So.
Well, this is all about.
That's right.
We change stuff all the time.
Yeah, half the stuff we told you guys is already wrong.
Yeah, pretty much.
Just from this webcast
it's
already.
Obsolete.
It's already obsolete. It's not true. Calm down. Everybody relax.
All right, different types of grenades?
Oh, yeah, different type of grenades.
So we have jammer grenades, we have concussion grenades, smoke grenades.
Are those all class specific?
All those are class specific.
What about EMP grenades?
We have...
That's a jammer?
Yeah, it's a jammer
Okay.
grenade. Concussion, I forgot what I listed already. Smoke, heal, revive.
So like smoke, who gets a smoke grenade?
Smoke grenade is going to be on the light assault.
Okay.
That's his class grenade. The light assault is going to be, he has a lot of tools that can block people or like clear the way so the rest of his squad can move up.
Yeah, he's a frontline.
Yeah, he's a frontline soldier. He gets up, he causes confusion, and then while he's distracting people, other people can move forward.
Right, right. All right, cool. C4 has been mentioned several times. We talk about C4 or boomers kind of interchangeably. In PlanetSide, they're called boomers. Are these the new boomers? Is it separate from boomers? What class can use boomers? Or
So, yeah,
basically,
boomer, C4, same thing, and right now every class can use them.
in lieu of a grenade, or are you taking that instead of a grenade?
Actually,
or?
yes. Well, in lieu of one of the grenades. So we're going to have the damage. We have pretty much a grenade slot, which is where you're doing your explosive damage, and the C4 goes in that slot, and you can choose to take either frag grenades, some other type of grenade, or C4, or say mines for some of the classes. And then
you have your other grenade as your class grenade?
yes.
Gotcha. And they're both on the same key? How do you switch between them?
One's a quick throw, and then one's in equip.
All right.
Actually, it's going to show up in your weapon selection because it's more of a utility.
All right. What kind of weapons can infiltrators use besides sniper rifles?
So the infiltrators have, say, their sniper rifles, which is the long range, and then they have the scout rifle, which in PlanetSide 2, the scout rifle is going to be like a medium range, high risk, high reward weapon. You know, the infiltrator is a very fragile class, but he can get really close and take some shots. But if he misses them, he's going to be in trouble. Right. That's what the scout rifle is.
Yeah.
And then right now we're playing around with giving them shotguns. I think that'll be really fun to play.
Shotguns.
Yeah.
So he's going to be a dude rolling around with cloak and device and a big shotgun.
Yeah. That sounds like damage.
It will be.
So
It'll be
that's
immediate.
more of the high risk, high reward. You know, if he can get close and get that shot off, he's gonna do some damage. But if he misses or doesn't kill in the first few shots,
Or if somebody has night vision or heat vision.
yeah,
on
or
their
dark
scope.
light, yeah. So
And again, I think a lot of people will be mentioning stuff like this, talking about things like this. We just came from a play test. We had a team play test that was actually pretty fun. And we're continuing to play test all the stuff that we're talking about, figure out what works and what doesn't work. None of the stuff that we're talking about is ever set in stone. When you guys get your PC Gamer beta keys and are able to get into beta, when we do start beta, you guys will all be part of helping us figure out what works and what doesn't work.
yes.
And we will definitely be adjusting accordingly. So if something that you're hearing sounds like something that's terrifying to you, or it seems like we're missing something, then
Yeah, definitely.
you will have your chance. to
Definitely
be able to be
wait till
part
you
of that
play
process.
it. Don't judge it yet because
Yeah.
it might sound wacky, but get in there and play it first, and
Shotgun
then give us a
cloakers isn't
feedback.
wacky.
It's not. I mean, it's new to
No, I
us.
know,
It's,
I'm
it's a
just-
brand new.
Yeah,
it's a new
I mean,
thing.
you don't know what it feels like until you play it. So you just gotta wait to get in the beta, and then we'll make.
I just know
make
that
them in.
we're going to go back to our desks and go on PlanetSide Universe, and there's going to be a thread that's like, shotguns on cloakers?
Yeah, I'm sure
What are these guys doing?
they'll get over it once they
figure it
become a
out.
cloaker and shoot somebody in the face with a shotgun. They'll be just fine.
Knives? You want to know about knives?
Yeah, somebody talked about what happened to the TR knife, and I want to know what happened to that because
We got it.
we gave it to them.
Where's the TR knife? Do we have that as one of the
Somebody-
images here?
I think somebody dropped the ball on the TR knife.
I tried to get the TR knives 3D printed from one of those 3D printing services, and they quoted me $1,000 to get one of the knives 3D printed.
Yeah, you might have to do a bake sale for that.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
You have to cut some grass for that. Mow some lawns, dude.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
it's insanity. All right. Are modifications to weapons set to specific types? If I want to do something crazy like add an 8x scope to my 10 to 15 foot range sweeper shotgun, can I? We talked about that. Yeah, you can.
Yeah. Every weapon type is going to have its own set of attachments. I don't think we talked about this yet. So if you have unlocks attachments for one weapon type and you're using that weapon type on different classes, like for example, you use your shotgun on a light assault, you unlock attachments, and then you go to your medic and use a shotgun, you can use those same attachments. They're available to all your classes.
Right. So you end up having just a huge number of different things that you'll be able to have access to, and some of them will just be
Yeah,
more useful
and
than others.
yeah, exactly.
So, okay, knives. We want to know about knives. Everybody wants to know about knives.
Everybody wants to know if it's quick knife, is it going to be, you know,
right.
what's the deal?
What's the deal on knives?
All right, so knives are we're playing around with what feels best for PlanetSide 2. So we're actually designing the knife. It's being coded. So we can go either way, a wieldable knife or a quick knife, and we're playing with it, and we're going to see, you know, during our internal play test what feels best.
Right.
What about both?
What about both?
That's something we talked about too.
That is something we actually, so it's set up to go either way. We can do both. That is an option.
Sweet.
We've talked a bit about making it so that you have a quick knife, but if you want to be able to like one shot somebody with a knife, you actually equip your knife first, and it can only be from certain angles. But you can quick knife just as like a last resort thing if you're in the middle of reloading.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very nice.
But we're still trying to sort all that out.
I
Right now,
like
the
that.
knife isn't a one-hit kill too,
No, it's
which is important to talk about.
Yes.
Although it may be at some point.
We're playing around with it. The knife is, I know, reading the forums, a lot of players don't like the one-hit knife. Some players do. So we're just going to see what works best for PlanetSide 2.
Yep.
Sweet.
Yep. It's tough to put your preconceived notions about what will work and what won't work in PlanetSide 2 because a lot of the mechanics are really updated. I mean, we have
Yes.
a much faster paced game than the original PlanetSide, so a lot of things that might seem like they don't work in PlanetSide will work in PlanetSide 2, just in different ways.
Well, no, I mean, it's about beta. That's what
That's
it's all
true.
about.
Yep.
We'll get the feedback and we'll react to the feedback. So don't fret. We'll fix it if it's broke.
So the last question that I had on here, and then maybe I'll check the Twitters real quick to see if anybody else got any fascinating questions, was grenade launchers. We talked about underslung grenade launchers, but are there any just straight up, you got a grenade launcher type grenade launchers?
No. All right. So
Done.
All right, I'm on to the Twitters then.
right,
Let's find-
It's a grenade launcher with a pistol attachment on it.
So we're actually giving grenades to grenade launchers to almost every class. We want every class to have pretty much options. For example, we really hate the feeling when you can't do anything to a tank because you're this class. We want to avoid that. We want it to be if you're a sniper, you don't have to just hide behind a rock when a tank rolls by. We want to give you options. So we're giving a lot of
Now, would you be able to put a grenade launcher on a sniper rifle?
Not on a sniper rifle, but you'll have other weapons.
I was going to use that combo.
Scout rifle
That's
will
gonna
probably
be
get a
over,
grenade launcher.
dude.
Yeah.
Lobbing them in there, shooting them from afar. Done.
All right, let's see. If you don't use your entire clip and go to reload, will you have to waste the rest of the clip, or is ammo still a pool? Do we have magazines or ammo pool? Is the question.
When he says waste it, you mean like throw away the whole clip?
Right, so the magazine
Yeah.
thing is I got 20 bullets in this magazine, I fire 10 of them and I throw it away, I just lost my magazine.
No, you don't. Those go back into the pool.
They'll go back into the pool.
Yes.
So we have ammo pool, not magazine ammo. This dude says I have no neck. Come on.
It's because you got the blue shirt on.
It's Tie-Dye Friday.
I know. It is tie-dye Friday.
It's
And
like Rick Santorum sweater vest Friday for you.
I wore the blue in honor of you.
Yeah?
Yep.
Thanks,
It
man.
looks like you got the purple tie on.
Man,
Try
yeah.
to
I
rock
try to do some reconciliation. I got the blue and purple tie
Dude, you gotta represent different factions every once in a while.
every once in a while.
It's not like I'm, switching sides or nothing, dude.
Yeah.
I'm still Vanu to the heart
Yeah?
for reals.
For reals forever?
Exactly.
Well, I don't see any other super fascinating questions here, so maybe we're done.
Any information on beta?
Any information on beta?
It's coming.
I mean, we are right now still doing lots of internal play testing. We've been reaching out to other people within the company and having them play test. We still don't have any hard dates set for beta. We really want to get the game into a state where we feel like we're ready to get valuable, tangible feedback from all the people who come into beta before we invite everybody into beta. So we're getting there. Are there any other questions in the chat that seem good?
What we got?
They like your ties and your bromance.
Yeah? Who's got the better tie?
It's
Look at this
obviously me. Come on. Let's
No
get
way.
a vote real quick.
Huh?
We got to see who won Tie-Dye Friday this week.
Who won?
Because I definitely killed it last week.
No
for
way.
sure.
Dude, I slated it.
What?
Tie-Dye Friday last week? Alright.
Dude, Jason told me specifically that I won.
Jackie.
He
Yeah,
told me.
but
He told
his
me.
whole thing is that he doesn't know what he's talking about. That's what Jace Hall is all about.
Dude, he told me that I was the one, dude.
Nah.
You're
False.
all kind of split.
Yeah?
And you also have numerous questions about the jackhammer.
Jackhammer.
Jackhammer?
What's the deal with the jackhammer?
Jackhammer's coming back. like Tramell mentioned, with the lasher going to a heavy weapon, jackhammer is also being converted into a heavy weapon for the NC. And
So it's like hip wheeled.
yeah,
type.
it's a hip wheeled big gun you carry around,
Who gets to use that?
and that's the heavy assault uses that.
Okay.
Sweet.
So heavy assault, he's also like an AV character, but depending on how you spec him, he can.
Yeah, you can lean them heavy to, a defense, not defensive, but more just laying down a lot of fire, or you can lean them to being a really heavy anti-armor class, or you can just stay in the middle and do a little bit of both.
So he's basically the tank now. He's just like a guy who's going to take a lot of damage.
Yeah, he's going to take a lot of damage and he's going to dish it out.
Sweet. That's going to be nice.
He's all about basically being able to walk right in front of a tank and fire off his rocket. He's got a shield that he can use.
Yep.
So he's.
Oh, we didn't talk about rocket launches.
We didn't talk about rocket launchers.
Rocket launches, man. Because I know there's somebody.
That's
had
not on
one
the approved question list, though, dude.
Doesn't matter. We're
right.
talking about weapons today.
Bam! Rocket launchers.
launches.
Okay, so we took some.
Josh is like,
Put 'em
I
on.
specifically asked to not talk about rocket launchers today.
So we took we're bringing back all the PlanetSide 1 mechanics, but we took the lock-on mechanic is now given to everybody. So everybody can have just hold it, point at an aircraft, and just lock on over time. And then we're bringing back, the Lancer still works like it did in PlanetSide 1. We have the NC, actually our mechanics aren't exactly the same. They're inspired by the PlanetSide 1. So for example, the NC have it's a wire guided where as they point their rocket launcher, the fired rocket will follow that.
Rather than just like a straight up camera guided one.
Yes.
Okay. But camera guided was something else that we've talked about potentially at some point getting into, right?
Yes, at some point.
Yeah. So rocket launchers.
Rocket launches. Is pretty
Rocket launchers are all about blowing up Maxes and vehicles.
Yep.
I blew up an airplane with a rocket launcher in the playtest today.
I remember seeing that the first time that we actually got the NC rocket launcher hooked up and watching, kind of like swirl around. It was pretty cool. So I think people are going to enjoy the way we set it up this time.
Any other questions from the
Shut
chat?
up and take my money.
Shut up and take my money?
You can send it. You can send it right to my office if you.
Dude, I'm going to use it to buy that plastic printed knife.
I know. We need $1,000.
I need $1,000.
Let's get a fundraiser going.
Spend
Come on.
$1,000.
Please send your money to us.
Flamethrower.
Flamethrowers. Yeah, we didn't talk about the flamethrowers.
Yes. Flamethrowers. So flamethrowers are actually on the Max.
Describe how a Max equips itself. That's
Okay,
something that's
all
pretty
right.
different.
So the Max he'll be able to equip each weapon, each arm independently.
So there's not multiple types of Maxes
No,
for
there's
Empire
one
anymore.
Max. He can choose to go either 2 anti-infantry weapons, 2 anti-armor weapons. You can get 2 bursters, or you can mix and match all those and be, little bit good at grammar right there.
That's
you can be
pretty good.
pretty good at anti-infantry, pretty good at anti-armor. Mix and match.
Yeah.
Just they can tweak the Max for their own playstyle.
So we've got 2 Empire-specific weapons per Max and 2 common pool weapons that are shared amongst all
yes,
3.
the flamethrower and the burster are common pool, and then we're bringing back the 2 of the
Quasar and the
yeah,
Comet
Quasar, the
yes.
Comet. We got the scattergun, we got the Falcon,
You have Pounder.
Pounder, and then we got the dual cycler.
Right.
Yeah.
So you should be able to make your Max feel like the Maxes from PlanetSide 1. If you wanted to just, load it up with anti-infantry stuff, you can make a purely anti-infantry Max. If you want to be anti-infantry and anti-air, you can kind of dual purpose your Max that way.
Yes.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. All right. Well, I think we're wrapping up. As always, if you guys have additional questions, if you guys have any other things that we missed, any questions that should have been on this list and were not, feel free to hit us up on Twitter.
Yep.
Talk about us on the forums. Go to Reddit. We've got the PlanetSide subreddit, which is awesome. One's really cool. Josh, you are
One more question.
TWOTHREESIX on Twitter.
Yes.
PS_T-Ray, and I'm just M. Higby on Twitter. And we're on there all the time, always answering
All
stuff.
the
so.
time, day and night.
Posting pictures of ourselves in inappropriate situations.
It's pretty bad.
It is. That's actually getting us in a lot of trouble, to be
Yeah.
honest.
But it's all for you guys. It's for the fans.
Yeah,
I could care less if I lose my job if the fans are happy.
that's right.
All right, I'll take that back. Smedley. Hey, what's up, Smed? What's going on?
All right, so I think we're set.
All right.
I think we're set.
Good job.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Sony.